My first period, I was a late bloomer, so it was also, you know, it was hard for me because all my other friends had got it before I did.
And was there a lot of pressure there?
Yeah.
I was always embarrassed to go up to girls because they were like they looked like trees to me, you know, and at dances and stuff, I'd be too scared to ask them.
My adolescence was shitty. In a word, I hated it. High school specifically.
It was an awkward time. I mean, I think it's an awkward time for everyone because, I mean, you're going through a lot of changes that you're just not used to.
I think the biggest change for me going through puberty was just that all the guys started liking girls, and I started liking guys.
We've all got real problems, but can't always solve them. We need someone to listen, cause we all need some talking.
Some try to ignore, but we've got to explore. We cannot hide it all away, let's do this together.
Well, I'll talk to you,
and you'll talk to me.
We've got to reach out to set us free. Degrassi Talks,
coast to coast, we hear real stories from real people.
Degrassi Talks, Degrassi listens.
You're not alone, let's do this together.
Degrassi Talks.
Puberty, sexual awakening. The words sound so simple, but the changes our bodies go through and the emotions that go with it can be anything but simple. I'm Stacy Mistician from Degrassi. Some of the feelings we have when we go through puberty can be so strong and so personal that it's hard for us to imagine other people going through the same things. But we all go through it. We traveled across Canada to hear your stories about awakening sexuality.
Excuse me? Can we ask you a few questions for a television show?
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, rolling.
What were your memories of puberty?
I was really excited about it because my best friend had developed sooner than I had, and I was like, oh wow, I want to be like that.
The majority of us go through a pretty bad acne stage, and you know, you're really counting the days when you say, oh, come on, what the hell, you know, the party's over, off my face, somewhere else, let's go.
Okay, like zits are a real bummer, but like pubic hair is great. You know, it's fun, you can play with it, yeah.
I just had a lot of mood swings, and like, I mean, I'd be happy one day, and then the next day I'd be really down in the dumps and stuff, and I didn't really like to deal with it at first at all.
In my school, I was in the choir, and I was like a soprano. This is like in grade 7. I was a soprano one day, and like the next day, I was like, they made me a bass. So it was really weird. It just happened. Like my voice just cracked.
So was it a studly thing, trying out your new macho voice?
Well, it was really studly walking around with a voice like this.
It must have been embarrassing.
It was an awkward time. I mean, I think it's an awkward time for everyone because, I mean, you're going through a lot of changes that you're just not used to.
For me, when I was growing up, around 12, 14, I was always self-conscious about my height. I was about 4'8", 4'8.5" in the 8th grade, and everybody was like 5'8", 5'9", and I went to my doctors, and I asked him, I said, is there anything you could give me, like maybe steroids that'll help me grow? And he kind of looked at me and he laughed, and he said, listen, Pat, just relax, you'll grow, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. And I realize now that it was silly of me to worry about that.
But you do worry about these things.
You do, but I think it's more important to worry about, you know, what kind of person you are instead of, like, your outer self. You should worry about your inner self.
My particular concern, I was completely flat till I was 15. And all my friends, I mean, they had big breasts. I was like, nothing. Yeah, and it's hard when your friends are developing faster than you are, because you start thinking, you know, what's wrong with me? What's going on? When you start developing, you have to adjust mentally more than physically, because, I mean, that's a bigger deal than the actual physical change.
Distinguished record in city competitions over the years.
Melanie, what are you doing?
You're a boy or girl.
Checking. Checking?
My mom won't let me get a bra, which is really unfair, because I need one. Don't you think?
Do you remember your first bra?
Yes. My mom made a complete fool out of me when we went to get it.
The first time I ever bought a bra, I was with my 2 friends, Melinda and Melissa, and we decided that we wanted to be more mature and more, you know, grown up. And we thought a bra would do it. So one day we went to a department store, and of course there was a lot of persuading to go in, you know, who would go in first and would we look funny and all that. And then So we walked in, and we sort of kind of went right through the section and up the other side, because none of us actually wanted to stop and look at the bras or whatever.
Do you have any funny stories about, spontaneous erections, walking around school, walking around school in track pants or something?
Not that I really, no.
Got an erection during gym, during taking a shower with other guys.
For some reason, and like, don't try and read anything else into this, but like, I almost always get one in church.
It's awkward standing up, answering a math question on the blackboard. It happens.
Having these kind of weird dreams lately. So? Really weird. Kind of where you wake up and you sort of, wake.
I think the weirdest thing for me was the wet dreams. That was really weird, waking up in the morning just surprised.
I don't remember what the dream was about. I remember waking up and thinking, whoa, what am I, in Lake Ontario or something?
Yeah, at first it was like, what's going on, man? What's going on here? Why is this doing this?
It was pretty weird. I had to, I didn't want to tell my mom or anything, so I got up and changed the sheets all by myself.
It's like, oh, we'll just keep this our little secret here, me in the bed, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about your first period.
We were in gym class, and we were doing cartwheels and stuff that day, and I actually started my period, and I didn't notice. Somebody else noticed and told me about it. And so I ran into the bathroom, and I cried, and I didn't want to go back to gym ever again. It was so embarrassing.
I got my period, and my mom ran out and told my dad and my brothers about it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, Mom, no, don't tell them.
My first period, I was a late bloomer, so it was also, it was hard for me because all my other friends got it before I did.
And was there a lot of pressure there?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's also almost worrisome to you because, how come all your friends have it and you don't? And you want something, you always want something your friends have and you don't. And then, so I waited, and then I finally got mine. And when I got it, I was almost proud because you feel so much older and more mature. And it was...
And then you realize what a curse it actually is.
Exactly.
How do you feel about masturbation?
Oh, it's totally cool.
It's cool?
No.
No?
I don't know.
It's great. I love it.
No. X. I think it could, harm your chances of having a child or whatnot. I think, anyway.
What kind of rumors have you heard about masturbation?
Oh, I always heard a guy was different or queer, like all the guys in the locker room. Oh, yeah, well, he must masturbate. He's a nerd. He wears glasses or whatever, that the jock issue, but they're usually the ones that are doing it.
I think there's nothing wrong with masturbation. I do masturbate myself, and I think that my parents were very open about it. They were never telling me there was any shame in my body, and so none of the hair on the palms bit.
It's your body, and if you can't touch it, then how can you feel comfortable with someone else touching you?
Periods, breasts, wet dreams, growing out and up. For some of us, it happens as early as age 11. For others, not until we're well into our teens. But puberty is not just about interchanges. We also start to see the people around us differently.
When you hit puberty, how did your feelings change towards the opposite sex?
Well, before puberty, I didn't really dislike girls. But then I hit puberty and I kind of started to look for different, more specific things.
Guys were just my friends. I didn't think of them as anything else. And then when I reached puberty, it was completely different. I'd start to think, hey, maybe I can like this guy in a different sense. And now it's like, there's a guy, let's go catch him.
But it wasn't a particular guy you were interested in. It was just like a group. I don't think anyone got really focused on one person until later on, until you start junior high school, maybe high school.
But suddenly, Your group discussions change from sports or whatever to guys.
It was also, a lot of it was just discussing not did we like them, but did they like us.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a fear of guys. I never sort of understood them, their teasing and their way of communicating, and it's pretty much remained the same still, except I guess I'm more sexually attracted to them.
So, you want to go to a movie?
Sure.
So, how about tomorrow night?
Great.
Great.
On this show, your character is, let's say, very awkward when it comes to asking out girls. How do you think you are in real life when it comes to asking out girls?
Well, I'm not one to go out and ask a girl, really. I mean, I've had sort of a problem with that. I'm more of one to let the girl make the first move. I don't think there's any wrong with the girl making the first move, but like if I were at a club or a bar or something like that, like I always expect to